falling.
That ain't moving anywhere. Oh shit me. But it's a dry race. Fuck's sake. That is exactly what I didn't want. No, it certainly wasn't. But anyways, welcome back to another league race, this time with TMC and with round 18 Mexico. Quick update, quick apologies. I ran out of storage for DNS on Tuesday, so that's why that video has not been is not around. But anyways, you can see it's absolutely pissing it down in Mexico, which I really wanted. But I wanted it in the race. I didn't want a wet quality. I wanted a wet race because I felt pretty comfortable in the wet. I don't like this track at all. Like, it's just, yeah, like, it's not something I enjoy in the dry. I don't like the S's. It's just 36 laps. I don't like sector 3. It's the setup. Choosing the setup can be a nightmare. But anyways, that's part of the reason why I don't like it. But you can see we got some decent pace here in the wet. Like I kind of thought I might have. So we go provisional second there with a 29 flat. And just coming back in, Carl, my teammate, was kind of flip-flopping between inters and wets. For him, the Delta said that the inter was just as good as the wet. But as you can see, like, that wasn't the case. So I was kind of waiting for a while before heading back out, just to see if it might come back towards the inter at the last second. It didn't, so I decided, alright, let's just keep with the full wet. I have to say the track did feel a lot better, but not good enough to where the intermediate was the tyre to be on. So anyways, coming on to my one and only lap of my second run. Excuse me, Carl, my teammate here, is in front of me, and he just had a lap on the inters, and it was pretty hard going. So this unintentionally became into a tow. So you can just see how much time I actually gained from just that little bit of slipstream on the straight. Of course, no DRS, and so we're going to take on a lap of this track in the wet. Just have to be really careful through this first sector. Make sure you clip those curves. You want to try and do the same in the dry as well. I run a bit wide on the curb and lose a little bit of time, but that's okay. We're still 2/10 up heading into sector 2. Hard on the brakes for 4 in third. Try and clip that if you can. I'd usually go down to second myself in for these, just for a little bit extra bite, and then usually short shift my way up to second, back down, or through second to third, back down to second, and then short shift if I can from third to fourth. So decent lap so far. The S's now, very difficult section, but I'm just taking it nice and cautiously. Stick tight to the line. Try not to drift out too wide. You really need to be hitting these curves. I missed that last one. Run wide, but that's okay. You can see how much time we lose actually. So no, that's not okay. But we're going to make it all back here in the stadium section straight away as we go through the first part of the stadium section, and the second part. This corner is where we make it all up. We make it all up through here. 3/10 up, 3.5 up. Final corner. I'm in P7 at the moment. So where can this lap lift me up in the standings? P2.
Oh, second, nice.
P2, a very decent lap indeed. I was really happy with that. I didn't expect P2 in this qualifying session, so I'll definitely take it. But I was definitely thinking, shite, I can only kind of go backwards from here, like, because Mexico's not a track I enjoy, and I was like, I'm gonna be found out here. I'm gonna be found out that I don't have pace, and a lot of these guys are gonna be trying to make their way through. So, anyways, that is the qualifying. Before we head into the race, let's have a quick look at the standings. Last week's excellent result in USA meant that is just 2 points between Idrox and Loki, and Idrox isn't here this week, so and I know Loki's using no assist, so, and Loki's down below me, so thought this is a good opportunity for some good points. Starting from second, if I can keep it going, and then there's just very quickly the constructors. Haas there in fourth. So for the race, we're getting off this strategy. Don't want anything to do with that. Thankfully, the one thing the wet weather did was it allowed everyone to choose their strategies. So I am doing the one stop, whereas it would be touch and go 2 stop in the dry. But 5 red lights. Start from second. Away we go. I get an okay start, but I'm going to make a big mistake here as I accidentally upshift twice from 6 to 8, and I lose a bit of time. So I do. Oh, I shot. Yeah, so there. I lost a bit of time through the upshifts there. High downforce. I run 3.9 wing, I think. I always got swamped on the straight. Leave the room inside for K-style, and we filed through the first 3 turns. You can see Kev has already done a bunk up the top, but I'm just trying to focus on where I'm at. I knew Kev was quicker in this place. Go defensive to K-Style, and then keeping that P2. So the rest of the lap should settle down now, but the thing with Kev is that he didn't, as it turned out, didn't know that you could actually, because of qualifying in the wet means you can change your, because the whole thing of qualifying is you have to start on the tyre that you set your fastest lap on if it's short quali. And so because there is no, that tyre is not the same from qualifying as it is in the race, we can actually choose whatever tyre we want to start the race. So I started the supers, K-Style started on the softs, a lot of people started on the supers, but AFDC started on the ultras, and I thought, okay, if he can make a ultra soft stint work, fair play to him, but we'll have to see how that goes. But for now, the deficit is quite outstanding to begin the race. We are already 2.2 seconds behind, and we've got 8 styles in front of K-Style. I'm thankful K-Style was in third, because he was on those soft tyres, and if someone maybe on supers was behind me, I might have had a bit more difficulties during that first lap. But lap 4, like you can see, we're actually kind of in a decent little position here. Kev is 4.2 seconds up the road, but I wasn't worried about him because I just accepted that he was gone today. But we've got a nice little gap here behind third, and so I thought, okay, I need to make the most of this. So I want to push as much as I can. Lap 7, you can see the gap is 4.3 ahead, so it hasn't really changed a whole lot. I've got 3.1 second advantage to Jose Ferreira behind, so who's on the super softs. And I got a little bit worried at this stage because I thought, shoot, now K-Style is gone, the soft tyre is there, gone. So perhaps someone on the super softs might be able to catch me, but lap 8, this confirmed to me straight away that Kev was doing the 2-stop. He pits for those, gets those ultra softs off to put on a set of supers, and for me, still maintain a decent gap to Jose Ferreira, and I can just kind of run my race at this stage. With P10, you can see Paddy has actually jumped into P2, and I was afraid at this stage because I was, look, I know how quick Paddy is, and he's a quicker driver than me, and but I had a 4.1 second buffer, so I thought, okay, I should be able to keep that safe until my pit stop window, which is lap 16. So that was the plan, but you can see, and slowly but surely Paddy was bringing it down. There's 3.6 on lap 12. A little bit wide here, and that's not going to help. So, but you can see on the map there, there's quite a bit of there's lots of cars behind Paddy, so I don't want to drop too far into these clutches. Lap 12, one of the most important laps of the race. Paddy is going for the undercut. I wasn't sure if he was doing the 2-stop at the time, or maybe just a 1, but I thought, well, actually no, I knew straight away he was, I don't know why I said that, I knew straight away he was going for the undercut, lap 12, so I thought, no, I'm not going to respond. I know what happened in USA and I got undercut there, but 4 laps, like, I'm sticking to my race. I'm not going to really deviate from that. So lap 16 we come in to start lap 17. Very tentative, conservative on that pit entry. It comes up quite quickly, does this one, and excuse me, the last thing I wanted was a 5-second stop-go penalty that I wasn't going to serve, because that would literally scupper everything. And there's a chance of some good points here if the early showings had any returns on that. But you can see Paddy, he's got me. Paddy's got me. 4 laps he stayed out. That was the difference, and he got me. So, but I knew that he's pitted 4 laps earlier than I have. Surely I'm going to have the advantage on the tyres near the end of the race. So that was my thinking. I didn't expect to get by Paddy until very late in the race, if at all, with this with how this went. But you can see lap 17, like, I'm kind of sticking with him, which I was surprised by. Like, I know I've got a few lap fresher tyres, but I mean, sticking with him in the DRS range, I'm like, he's okay, all right. But I don't want to be stuck too long behind him, because Jose Ferreira is only 2 seconds behind. So I'm like, if I stuck behind him, that could be trouble. But the early signs on these softs was okay. And going on to lap 18, end of lap 18, you can see we're right on the back of Paddy. And if we can get a decent run out of this last corner, who knows what that might open up. I thought I blew it there, a bit wide in the entry, put it into rich mixture. I was doing some standard lean, saving through the slow sections. Dip into the toe, open the DRS, I'm reeling them in, reeling. There I go. Past Paddy, down the main straight, heading into turn 1, and I've actually got that move done. So, whew, this was a big relief for me, because like, I didn't expect that. And you might have heard it in the actual audio commentary live at the time. I did not expect to get by Paddy. I did not on lap 19. So And now that puts up into fourth, but that is really P2 at the moment because Kev is in front. K-Style comes into the pits to get rid of those softs for these super softs. So that is lap 20. Combi is in front, and then Kev is in front of him. Next lap, head on to lap 20 and lap 21. Combi pits for his pit stop, and then that leaves a 13.5 second gap to Kev, which is AFDC, in first. And I had a suspicion that I was fairly sure he had to stop again. And sure enough, lap 21, he has made his pit stop, which puts us into the lead of this race. So now we're in interesting territory where I did not expect to be in this position whatsoever. Lap 23, you can kind of see in the map, Paddy's right behind us. I have a 3-second penalty at this stage. I was fairly confident Paddy wasn't going to get one, so I was like, I have to break 3 seconds here. But excuse me, the problem with that is that Paddy is not alone. He's got Jose Ferreira behind him, and F1 Alonso, I believe, will be coming into the fray quite soon as well. So lap 23 of 36, I've got a long way to go, and I'm certainly not alone up here. So I may be in first, but it's by no means going to be easy at all. It's going to be tough. Lap 27, Jose Ferreira and F1 Alonso have got past Paddy, and you see the gap is 1.1 seconds. And looking at this train behind, it was it'd be easy to be distracted, but I was just so focused on trying to bring it home. The tyres were beginning to go at this point. I was just struggling at this phase of the race. Lap 28, I've been having to fuel save for a good bit of time, and now you can see Jose Ferreira in the DRS with 6/10, and look how much he's going to gobble up on this straight. I know I'm running a bit more downforce, but look at that. Like, he's almost able to have a go into turn one, so I had to change my line a little bit to try and kind of prevent him kind of taking the inside line. And so that's this is kind of foreshadowing in many ways as Kev retires. So Kev had contact, I think it was Combi. So unlucky for Kev, he messed up there with his with the tyres he put on at the beginning of the race. He didn't know, but unlucky. He was probably the quickest driver here today, maybe with the exception of F1 Alonso. Even though those two would be very close. Lap 30 of 36, you can just see there's 7 laps to go. 7/10 of a second is the gap. They're still behind me. But you can see again how much Jose Ferreira is going to make up in a straight line. It's absolutely absurd. But look, this is the sacrifice that I knew I had to make if I wanted to keep it nice in the S's in Sector 2, and Sector 3. So get a decent run out of the first 3 turns. But Jose Ferreira is going to have the DRS, the slipstream. I go defensive. Jose Ferreira is going to go for a late lunge. He makes contact with my wheel. I'm furious at this stage because that could have been so close to wing damage. He's dive bombed me. He's made contact. I'm not happy about this. So I was actually quite aggressive on that defense into that corner. Running side by side with Jose Ferreira, F1 Alonso behind. I was like, no, this is not happening. Inside line, take that position back. I was really not happy with Jose Ferreira at this stage after that, because he hit my wheel. But if that could have been wing damage if he had hit anywhere else. And you can see I was weaving there to show my frustration. But lap 30, 31, I was able to hold off 6 or 7 tenths, but 2 tenths is not something I'm going to be able to hold off. So Jose Ferreira is just going to roar past me on the straight, as is F1 Alonso, and there's nothing I can really do about it. I'm going to have to try and tuck in, maybe see if these two come together. I tried going for the switchback a couple of times as these two are fighting, but I had to be really careful not to damage my wing. This kind of allowed Paddy to kind of close up. I got decently close to Jose Ferreira, but he's going to have the DRS, which is something I do not have. Paddy, I think, might have DRS as well. I'm not too sure, but anyways, trying to actually outbrake myself here. Conveniently trying to hang around the outside. I get a bad run out of that corner, and Paddy's going to slip up the inside. A little bit of contact, but there's nothing bad there. And yeah, Paddy is going to sweep through, and I wasn't going to fight that corner there. He was too far ahead. So there you go. In the space of half a lap or so, I've gone from first to fourth, and that was my race really. I was just trying to keep pace with the guys at the front, kind of keep myself in the 3-6 second window in case there were some penalties. K-Style behind was catching, but quite slowly. He got within DRS range in the last lap, but I mean, for me, I'm not disappointed that I lost the lead of the race like that, because the longer the stint went on, the pace just went away. I didn't have the tyres anymore, and yeah, I am glad I hung on for as long as I did. But coming across the line, what's it going to be? It's a podium! It's a podium around a track I hate. and I was shitting myself heading into this one. So yes, get in. P3. The thing was that I knew Paddy wasn't going to get a penalty. I was fairly sure about that. Didn't know about F1 Alonso, and to be honest, I was never, ever, ever worried about Jose Ferreira. I knew he was going to get a lot of penalties because, look, he has the reputation of a bottle job, and that's just, the reputations are earned, you know. So I was like, there's no way Jose Ferreira is going to have a clean race. And that sounds terrible, but that's just the reality of it. Like, I knew he was going to have a clean race. I knew he was going to pick up penalties much more so than I. I picked up one penalty, almost got a second, but that was enough for P3. So I'm actually very, very happy, as you could probably imagine. Like, I was shitting ahead into this race. Ultimately, like, look, I was leading the race for a lot of the race at the second stint. I started P2, but look, all things considered, I hate Mexico. I would have taken anything in the top 7, honestly. So to come up with a podium and to be fighting for as long as I was out there, that I'm really happy with that. But anyways, that's going to do it for round number 18 of TMC. The promotion hopes are looking very, very good indeed. Next up is Brazil. And Brazil, I'm intrigued about because the track kind of everyone's good at, so I'm not too sure how I'll fare. So until next time.